All right, the city's plan to reopen the library, or no, homeless camp in Ashland. Where am I on my sheets? I don't know, I lost it. Homeless camp in Ashland, there it is, okay. This is still this is the biggest hot potato in Ashland. I mean, I know the library's out there, and I know there's always talk about the city council, this, that, and the other. The homeless issue, it's just like a pack of firecrackers every day we bring it up.
I think it's a false hot potato.
Really?
You know what? I don't think there's... I think there's underwhelming support for the idea, but it's so, I don't know, it's so Ashlandy that people would be afraid to say they don't support it.
Right. But see, every time anything happens, it's never just ignored. There's an immediate, and the firecrackers just start popping right up. Doesn't matter how, my whole thing is, why is this back today?
Because the only people willing to talk about it are crazy.
Excuse me. We're talking about it.
There you go. All right. Case in point. No. I mean, and the latest comes up. Obviously, this was a big deal down in Arcata. Bob did a great story. I hope you saw it in the paper recently, but it's a really good story on how this issue just blew up in Arcata and led to this kind of camping illegally in the middle of the city, the police having to drag these guys out. Our Ashland resident was one of those being dragged out, and is back here. And at the same time all this was happening down in Arcata, we were having a peaceful plaza rally that basically said, this is an issue, this time has come. It's an interesting issue, and it certainly is one that should be debated and discussed, and a community needs to talk about how they're going to handle it. But you can never get to that point. I mean, as soon as you say the word homeless, you got all the line of stories we've done over, from the affluent beggar to the
the little attack dogs on both sides just jump in a big dog pile and
fight just right away as soon as you say it.
The sane people will never discuss it.
I love it.
And they all come in and they attack each other, and there is something about this issue that just seems to spike people up. The latest idea is can there be legal camping in this area? Can we carve out a piece of property somewhere that could be illegal camping for the homeless site? Now, I know this has been battered around 1,000 times, and if we were going to go back through the lineup again, it's pretty simple. If we create a homeless dignity village-like thing, or a Mecca, or any kind of a camp, then it would be a neon light to all the homeless everywhere, and we'd have 10,000. The destination for the homeless. We'd have the Shakespeare Festival and the homeless people coming at the same time, all the time. But I got another solution that I've never once heard. The business owners. I hate to say business owners. The people that they represent that say that the transient, aggressive population in the plaza is hurting the economy. There's got to be some truth to that, and there's certainly a high level of concern. I've never once heard them say, let's broker a deal. Why don't broker a deal? I don't even understand how you can't say, okay, we'll throw our lot in here. We'll try to set something up so that we could truly do something for the homeless in our area, which is a significant issue.
Isn't that handyman? Let's do something for them, but move it across town.
Well, and yet, what's wrong with that? But part of it,
that's the broker deal.
But you have to sit down and be honest. You can't just fake it. You can't just say. I mean, we have to broker a deal. We have to say something like, okay, we want a police substation downtown. We want we want an openly increased presence, just like they do in Central Park, that says this is an area for tourism. It's going to be cleaned up. We're not going to just let people loiter right in the middle of the plaza. We're going to straighten it up a little bit, but we're going to create also a less hostile environment for the homeless in our area. And the other problem is there's two types of homeless. There's the legitimate homeless. We have a 30% below the poverty level, population. A third of our population is legitimately poor. Okay. And then you have this transient population. That's another part of it. Right. So until you sort all that out.
We like the good homeless. We don't like the bad homeless.
Well, obviously we don't like the aggressive.
Who do you broker the deal with? Are the homeless at the table?
Yes. Well, guys like Randy Dollinger would certainly come and represent that. Guys like, we have Councilman Eric Vickas, who is concerned about this issue and would clearly sit there and advocate for the rights of the homeless, rightly so.
And how do you pay for it?
What is there to pay for?
Someone's subsidizing the police station downtown.
Sure. But not only...
Sanitation facilities,
sure,
lighting.
A campground, whatever it is. The problem is we can't even sit and have the conversation.
Yeah.
Why not start the conversation?
I think it would be a really fun conversation.
It would be a great conversation. It goes back to the attempt that they had at the aggressive panhandling last year, having cards that say, don't give people money, hand them a card, tell them where the services are. And that blew up into this thing of, all this rhetoric of the extremes. And the only people speaking on both sides were the extremes. And I I can't believe that a town of this kind of creative will, where I think most people are genuinely concerned about the homeless issue in our area, and they're growing concern about the aggressive transient population, can't sit down and say, you know what, we can use our public will, we can create some things that are genuine social services for those that have need. A creative idea like Dollinger's talking about, like a campground where people could literally camp and choose that kind of lifestyle in a confined, controlled, alcohol, drug-free area. And yet in that, they can also come and help the downtown. They can help, Lithia Park. They can, they can use, put people on and say, look, this isn't the place to hang out. Here's the place to hang out.
But you're going to...
I'm not saying it's perfect.
All right.
I'm not saying I even know how to do it. I'm saying it's amazing to me that after 2 or 3 years of seeing this conversation come back, no one has been able to sit down and start the conversation.
It's just so easy to throw a match in that pile and blow it up every time.
Why not have a
But the
forum?
match starts every time. They have a rally, and people come across and yell at them. They, we go up and we do a story about a guy living in the watershed, and they want to roust
I
him.
agree with you, but I still have the urge to throw the match on that pile when you start talking about it.
I say hold a forum and invite all the interested parties.
The bell is ringing. Hold the forum. Maybe that's what we get next. Okay.